Hello, my name is Emily, and today I'm going to be doing a requested video. A while ago, on one of my other Stephen King videos, I couldn't find which Stephen King video, so I'm not sure who requested it, but if you are the person that requested it, this is for you. I am reviewing The Shining by Stephen King. The Shining is one of the Stephen King novels that I will cite as my favorite very frequently. This is the story of Jack Torrance, who is a somewhat abusive, alcoholic, struggling writer, ex-teacher, who takes a job as a caretaker at the Overlook Hotel. The hotel has shut down for the winter, and Jack and his family are going to go up to the hotel and live in the hotel over the winter and kind of like mind the boiler, etc. Jack also has an ulterior motive for visiting the hotel. He hopes that the secluded environment will allow him time to write his play, because he really does have writerly ambitions. Jack's son is named Danny, and he possesses an ability called The Shining, which basically means that he has telepathic abilities between other people with The Shining, and he kind of has an extra sensitivity to his environment and other things in his environment. This means that Danny is sensitive to the horrors of the Overlook Hotel. The Overlook Hotel is kind of a very haunted and negative place, and of course, having The Shining means that Danny can see a lot of what has happened. I don't want to say more because I don't want to ruin the plot, because this is one of my favorite books. What I really liked about The Shining and why it is one of my favorite Stephen King books is that it actually scared me. There's a scene in room 217 that actually gave me goosebumps. I can remember reading this moment so vividly. I have never felt so scared. I don't want to say more, I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to ruin this moment for you if you decide to read this book, but that moment of terror is what hooked me and what made me love this book so much. I also really liked the isolated space of the hotel. Hotels are kind of a weird space, somewhere between private and public. You go to a hotel room and you treat it as if it's your private space. You bathe there, you take your clothes off, you sleep, you relax in this space. There aren't many other public spaces where you do that, or where it's acceptable for you to do that anyway. I guess you could sleep and take your clothes off in a bus station, but most people don't. It's not a place that you feel comfortable, right? A hotel room is a place that you feel comfortable relaxing. But on the flip side, it's also a very public space. Thousands of people have probably stayed in the hotel room before you. The space of a hotel kind of blurs the public and private in a weird way, and I think it's an interesting setting for a book, especially because the family is living in a hotel all by themselves. Like when you're in a hotel and you're staying in a hotel, there are other people in the building. There are employees, there are other guests, right? Like, you know that you're in a hotel. You don't recognize the hotel as your home. You might recognize the hotel as a home base while you're traveling, but it's not your home. This family in The Shining is being asked to treat the hotel as their legitimate home for probably at least 6 months, right? However long winter lasts. They have to take this private public space and occupy it as if it were a legitimate private space, a legitimate home. And I find that very interesting, and I think it adds to the unease in the story being in a weird transitional space. Another thing that I liked about The Shining is the concept of The Shining. It seems very natural, very logical. Having The Shining seems to be like one step above being particularly good at reading body language or reading a room. And it was a very easy idea to get behind. Sometimes I find with these supernatural stories, some of these special abilities are a little bit hard to believe, hard to get like your mind wrapped around almost. I feel like Danny comes off very natural. He just seems super sensitive, and I liked that. This did not translate over into Dr. Sleep, which I will be posting a review for as well because that was also requested. Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, and in that, The Shining did not seem so natural, but in The Shining did seem like a very cool, easy, believable thing. I didn't have to suspend my disbelief too much to fit it into my understanding of the world. I gave The Shining 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads. And I would recommend it to people just starting out with Stephen King because I feel like it is pretty accessible. It's not too supernatural. With a lot of Stephen King books, I find that it's just the right amount of paranormal, and then there's like a moment that flips it and it becomes too much, and then it's not scary anymore and it's not believable. I'm not willing to suspend my disbelief that far. This is not one of those books. The Shining, I am well within my comfort zone, I guess. It fits within my view of the world, with what I'm willing to believe. Within the context of a novel, I feel like the supernatural works really well here, and it adds to the story. It makes it enjoyable. The supernatural doesn't take away from the story like it does in some of Stephen King's other works. If you want an example of where it doesn't work, check out my review of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I will link that below. So I would recommend The Shining if you have not read it. Hopefully this satisfies the request, whoever you are. If you are the person watching who made the request, say hello. Let me know what you think. If you've read The Shining, chat with me in the comments below about your favorite parts. Keep an eye out for my review of Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, which is coming soon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.